Alright, guys. We got Clem in the top right side of the map in the semi-finals of Pigstarcraft Weekly number 36. And I just remembered it's best of 5 semi-finals now, which is great because he's playing against ASTREA. And the bottom left side has gone for a low ground gate, wants to do some sort of earlier depth pressure perhaps. And he's going to go for the probe harassment into the Nexus. Marine first, no Reaper for Clem. And a low ground command center, which means a Zealot could be a problem, but the SCV is going to scout for it. And it looks like it's no Zealot. It's just going to be early Adepts coming across this map to try and cancel this command center. It could cause a bit of an issue, but if Clem builds a bunker, hugging up tight against that, you can pop the SCV in and out of the bunker. And Clem, here's the micro to do that so smoothly. Pylon finishes, Adept starts, gets chronoed immediately. And the Marine comes out and actually gets a probe over here as well. Nicely done. Factory's already building, reactor comes down. And Clem realizes he's going to need a bunker as fast as possible. He builds it a little further out than I thought. I thought he'd build it a bit closer to the bunker, but we'll see how that one goes. It's not a huge commitment for ASTREA. Having your gateway on the natural really doesn't cost you that much, but it does give you this little bit of extra aggressive potential. And we'll see how that pays off. Second gas goes down behind it. Of course, the second depot's already there. And it looks like that bunker's going to finish just in the nick of time. Oh my lord. If that, I think that Marine might have taken a hit from the probe, which meant it would have got two-shot by the Adept. Maybe he sacrificed the probe on purpose, because that Marine looked like it was a little more damaged than normal. ASTREA's clever like that. He'll set things up, you know? He'll realize, hey, normally a Marine survives on one hit point, but if it takes a probe hit first. And look at that, split fire. Okay, no, the Marine wasn't damaged, but 2 Marines and an SCV going down. This is massive. And now he can damage the Hellion as well. Hellion does pull back. And that Adept will shade away, but he sees no tech lab, which means he doesn't have to worry about a Cyclone. Good information gathering for ASTREA. Second gateway is up for him as well. And I think... I was going to say I think he might play third gate with no Robo, but no, he does opt for the early Robo. He wants the Observers and he wants to have that scouting going. Ooh, exciting to see how this series goes, because ASTREA, he kind of wrecked Cure last week with Mass High Templar spread. Not sure if he's going to try that against Clem. That was funny, we asked him afterwards, and yeah. He said, yep, Nina was ruining me on the ladder. My off-race Terran kept getting hammered by just Mass High Templar spread everywhere across every base. And I wasn't sure how to beat it, so I figured if I played it against Cure from the other side of the matchup, he'd show me how to beat it. And Cure couldn't handle it, so definitely the power of Mass High Templar, very effective. We're seeing a lot of also just Storm Rushes because they're so good against SCV pools, but right now, only 3 Stalkers here. It needs to target that medevac, I think. Yeah, does change targets, does ASTREA, realizing that the medevac otherwise would pick up. Probe does come there, gonna force that Widowmine to pick up. Nice micro for Beyond. The Widowmine does get taken out. At the end of the day, 2 probes, not too bad. A loss, a bit of mining time. Could have been a bit more frustrating. Looks like the Adept got in the main as well, taking out another SCV, forcing a bit of delayed mining time. Stalker's moving out with Blink off of 3 gateways. Going to try and punish this, but it looks like the Hellion may try to come in as a bit of a counter-attack here. Oh, that always feels so good, doesn't it? Denying the third base, ASTREA wanted to start the Nexus before he died so well, but he just wasn't quite able to. Hellion is there, is trying to get in. The Stalker's trying to block it, and with the Blink, it should be able to. And there we go, it does stop the Hellion. 3 Stalker pressure on the front, 3 gate Stalker. It's going to be 9 Stalkers. 1 of them is at home out of these 10, 9 on the front. Could probably one-shot a tank. Blinks forward. Does take out a bunch of these important units. Wow, medevac goes down as well. I think that was a medevac and a siege tank, right, guys? Medevac tank. Yeah, medevac tank goes down. He's lost 2 Stalkers this game, but I think that's a really good trade for Protoss. Stalkers easy to reproduce. Those Starport and factory units not so much. Third Nexus is on the way, but he's continuing with the damage, and the tank is up in the main, which means this natural is a little exposed. The Observer sees it. He's going to push in. And he goes for the Banshee, swaps to the Raven, but with the tank getting down there just in time, through a few Stalkers go down, and he gets no value for it, right? Beyond handles that really well. Sorry, I was just casting Beyond. This is Clem. Clem handles that really well. I just called him Beyond like 2 or 3 times. We just finished casting a long Beyond PvT series, guys. Apologies if I call ASTREA Geralt as well. They all look the same to me, these Protoss and Terrans. But no. Clem handles that very nicely and just limits the damage. So Australia's got to chill for a moment. He's going to go charge 3 more gates. So 6 gates. Storm will be the follow-up. But no Forge just yet for Protoss. And the worker count's looking pretty decent for Clem. Another SCV goes down. Stalkers picking off a few of these SCVs. Oh! Oh, man, I can already see the comment sections. There's going to be a few people going, is this Clem or is this Beyond? I'm confused. Why does the commentator keep saying that? Edit your comment now. You've got to this point in the video. I corrected it. Edit the comment. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Just... that is always like a fun thing reading YouTube comments. You're like, didn't I answer this? And they're like, yeah. I was like, a minute later. Oh, is this... He's actually all-inning? And a 4th siege tank. What? Clem's going 2 base all in. Storm wrecks this if you can get the units and the numbers up and realize what's happening. But does ASTREA have the vision? I love this observer because there's low chance of the Raven seeing the observer, but the observer can kind of see part of the army if it moves left. See, Clem doesn't know about the observer knows about him. Beautiful vision. He sees that army. The great vision. There's a bunch of High Templar. He's got to come forward and try to ambush this army. Stalker's got to be careful though. Dude, Clem's army very vulnerable. Massive worker advantage for ASTREA, but only 6 gateways. And oh, first storm is big, but he's got to pull back. Oh my gosh, massive second storm as well. Feels a little bit overcommitted here. Oh, this zealot warp in on a slow warp in pylon. I don't like that for ASTREA at all. He loses them. He does snipe the Raven and lands a lovely storm. Prism warps in the, well, it sieges up in the main, but it doesn't warp in. It gets sniped. And ASTREA, he's only got 6 gateways. He's building in a model. He needs like 3-4 more gateways in the main. Too slow on his gateway count. That zealot warp in failing, and now he's going to lose a gateway at the wall off. This is a big problem. He needs to try to cut off the reinforcement with all of his zealots. And look at this beautiful rotation there, because the Stalkers can't move up the ramp. Clem has ramp control with these 4 tanks. He needs a Storm and some Stalkers over here. He's going to have to recall to the main some of his units, I think. Zealots are over there. They're not quite intercepting. Needs to get on top. Okay, there we go. They will find the Marauders in the tank. Good move. Think he gets the tank as well. He does, but he's already lost 10 probes behind this. Massive damage going down on ASTREA's economy. That being said, economic damage, not too bad for him. It's the production, the gateway, the robo, the other gateway going down that I think really hurts. These zealots tearing up Clem's rally. Clem has so little support here, guys. It's a handful of Marines and Marauders. If ASTREA can get rid of these tanks before the army joins up, then I think he can win this game. But he needs a prism, and he doesn't have one. If he could zealot drop on this left, or warp in from that high ground maybe over there, just out of vision and flank, that would be huge. Now the probe goes down and the gateway goes down. He's got to go for it. The zealots going to take that first volley. Some zealots come in from behind. The Stalkers blinking forwards. The High Templar, 2 High Templar get focused down. But you can see the reinforcements here. ASTREA not able to stop those forces joining together. And Clem able to hold this siege position, even though half of his tanks got taken out. Beautiful push by Clem. ASTREA a little too greedy there and just not getting his gateway count high enough. GG, well played. All right. Rough game 1 for ASTREA there. Didn't quite get that gateway production up. He didn't know what was happening. So it's one of those things where being a little late on gateways doesn't matter in most other situations, but in that game it does. And I think that slow zealot warp in on that 4th base position because he was so desperate to stop Clem taking that angle was kind of a problem. If ASTREA had split one of his High Templar to move around that left side and get in front of that army beforehand, he might have been able to hold that angle. But as it was, a little unfortunate, throwing the prism away, a little unfortunate, and just a bit too slow on those extra gateways. It is what it is. Clem commits to the 2-base push, gets the job done. And I think we're going to see quite a bit more of that kind of aggressive 2-base plays for Clem. Mixing them in at least. This game... Oh, look at him speed mining, little tryhard. Oh my gosh, he's such a tryhard. Oh my gosh. Clem. He's like, okay. Okay, he was so focused on it, he was a little slow to start the orbital. That's okay. Command center will go down now. 135. Oh my gosh. Dude, the speed mining does speed up your build. Speeds up your builds a bit. At this point, he doesn't really do it much anymore. He's just focused on his normal build, but Clem just so good with his multitasking. If you don't know what the speed mining is, essentially you just shift-click the probes, because you can see how these probes kind of decelerate as they're approaching the minerals or approaching the nexus. Whereas what you can do is you can tell them just to move next to the minerals, then mine it. Move next to the nexus, then return minerals. And if you do that with a series of shift clicks, they just move faster. They move full speed right up to the point where you told them to go to, and then they do the next order. Whereas if you let them mine naturally, it looks a bit more natural, but as you can tell, that constantly slowing down, get up to speed, and slow down again. So it's just not quite as fast. Is that what people mean with mineral boosting? Probably. Yeah, you could call that mineral boosting or something. Essentially, it's just, you know, speed up your workers mining slightly. If you're talking about stacking your workers, try to make sure you have 2 workers on each patch, and you try to prioritize these slightly closer patches because they also tend to have more minerals on them. So you want to mine those heavier. You don't want to mine out these light patches too quickly. You'd rather mine out the heavier patches just so you've got more available mineral patches to mine from, so you can utilize your SCV count more effectively. SCV is going to rotate away as the Adept comes in. Cyclone's not here just yet. Maru-style build order with the early Cyclone. Maru's been loving these. Adept goes in there. SCVs are going to fight. Adept there doing some damage. Going to go for that Marine. ASTREA with some good micro. And the Adept does go down. Starport's on the way. Has all been spotted. We know it's not a 3-racks or anything. ASTREA goes second gate Robo. ASTREA is also a fan of this wall off here, guys. I was talking about in an earlier series how Geralt not just walls off down here, but also walls off here with the building, which I hate, because your units just can't move around your base. Like, to get from here to here, they would have to go all the way around the Nexus and then come down here, which just sucks. Even this building wall off here, I've actually started to move away from, because I start to value ease of movement around my own base. Because there's nothing worse than if a drop's coming in, you blink over here, and then he just zigs back and goes and unloads on the other side. Your units are stuck on the wrong side of the wall. So I'm a big believer in not building walls around your own main base, right? Trying to minimize obstruction so you have ease of movement. That for me, because I hate having my movement choked up. On the other hand, Clem is not building a wall off over here, guys, to defend blink aggression. ASTREA is not the best blink aggro player by any means. Like, it takes like many thousands of games to become a god of blink aggro in this matchup, and it's more of a max packs trait. Used to be parting. Max packs by far the best these days. Trigger's pretty good with it. Obviously, Hero can be very good with it. Double mine drop's going to come in. He's going to go for that Widow Mine drop. Very nice. Probe's attacking and splits at the very last second. Ooh. 4 probes do go down. I thought it would only be 3 there. I think that's decent defense. Minimal mining time lost. Doesn't kill any Widow Mines, though. We'd love to get some damage done on the front. There's no wall off, man. Dude, he's so vulnerable. If these Stalkers just blink in here, they can take out that tank. 1 Stalker goes down to the Marines. Good hot pickups. Picks off quite a few Marines as well as a tank. Super worthwhile for just, I think, 1 Stalker so far. Loses another one. Oh, Siege is a little far forward, but Clem chasing. Kind of crazy that Clem's willing to chase here. Oh no, ASTREA! Oh, the Widow Mine came in and distracted him! Gets 5 probes and distracts him from microing correctly. Oh, and that's Clem just using his multitasking. He says, you technically beat this army, but I bet you can't beat this army and defend the Widow Mine drop at the same time. And he abuses that, forces ASTREA to micro 2 players at once. ASTREA is going to keep leaning into this, trying to get more damage, thinking there's no tanks in the main, but there is a new tank in the main. Another Stalker goes down. And it does look like ASTREA here just going to be taking bruising after bruising in these early skirmishes with Clement. I think ASTREA's got to keep it in his pants now. He's lost too many Stalkers. 7 Stalkers have gone down. Units lost well in the favor of Clem, but... Oh, the Banshees get caught! But he cloaks in time to dodge the shot and answers with a Stalker kill, and then he just withdraws to go and repair. Come back and fight another day. He knows just by ASTREA knowing there's Banshees on the map, that alone kind of forces him to potentially build batteries and have observers and all that sort of stuff. But ASTREA's done a good job of forces the Banshees home, and he can try to track them, and then as they move out again, maybe intercept them. I would have liked him to keep the Observer over there, personally. Colossus Tech is on the way for ASTREA. Looks like he's a bit more comfy with Colossus rather than Storm. 3rd Command Center tucked in the back for Clem. It's not a very early 3rd Command Center, so the 3-base mining has a bit of time to get the work done. ASTREA just playing that standard 4-gas style. His Forge is pretty late. Doesn't have a sentry yet. There we go. Sentry and a few Zealots starting to now warp in. Stalkers on that right side, but there's no Observer with it. Banshees can just cloak, fly on by. All right, Observer comes through. He wants to see, is there a third command center or am I being all in? Sees the third command center. Clem is aware it's there though, and you know he's about to scan you. Just the way he moved the Marines and the Cyclones towards it, you could tell he was just waiting for that 50 energy on that orbital command center. Oh no! Oh, it's a bait! I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but almost turns into an effective bait. Only loses the shields, which is good. ASTREA going to think about a fourth base. He's only got one Colossus out, though, and he did not refill energy on the Sentry, which means no force fields. A few good Colossus swipes could be really effective, though. Unfortunately, his Prism flies in front of his army, which is a little awkward, but he forces the tanks to siege at least. And cannons and Stalkers in the main actually deflect these Banshees pretty nicely. One of them's almost out of energy as well, so that's really effective. Clem, a little afraid now with his army there. These Stalkers should be able to blink down, take out one of these. Cannons and Stalkers will deflect the other as well, as the cannon has obviously higher detection radius than its own actual range. Fourth Nexus does start. Good defense by ASTREA. He looks really confident with the Colossus now. Might just be more of his comfort zone. He has a lot more experience, I think, playing Colossus rather than playing the modern Storm Messer. Banshees get taken down. Clem, of course, his third's up now. Close-in workers to Protoss is usually good. And he's got 5 barracks pumping. So I think he feels pretty all right. He's going to have the Cyclone there get repaired while defending Prisms in the main. And second Robo. Oh, wow. Well, that I was not expecting. Unfortunately, it's just 2 Colossus into Disruptors. Ah, so he wants to force an overinvestment into Vikings. Well, he goes double Forge Disruptor. And then I guess it's just going to be... I think ASTREA is just going to play like that Harstem style, you know, get up like 7-8 Disruptors, just Mass Zealot Stalker, and just run around sniping stuff, throwing balls everywhere. It's a good style. Yeah, it can fall off a cliff sometimes, but it can also just pick apart a Terran. If you get up 5 bases, lots of minerals, it's pretty damn nice. All right, gets himself a Widow Mine, does see the 4th command center starting. Observer immediately runs away, because Clem saw him kill a Widow Mine before it could fire, so Clem knew there was an Observer there, and he chases it down. Stalkers come in. Looks like they pick off a Marauder and then blink away. Marauder's going to chase, though. Say, no freebies for you, idiot. And ASTREA turns a corner. Almost gets a Stalker killed, but he does get out. Double Disruptor going. As you can see, the mass gateways. So he wants to go up to 8 gateways for now, then 10. So he's got 10, 9th and 10th. I think 5th base, and then probably like up to 18 gateways. This is usually just like... Stats was playing this for a while. A few different players. It's very... front-on style that has just such an immense amount of Protoss gateway units, and if those balls land even a little bit, it can snowball. Sorry, I was just getting some warm water. It's a long day of casting. This is only game 2 of the best of 5 semis, so trying to make sure we don't get too excited here. No doubt at some point the game will explode. I gotta be ready to shout. I gotta be ready. We don't know when that's gonna happen, but it could be at any moment. Oh, ASTREA goes for a pot shot. Doesn't land big though, and Disruptor's going so far forward, very sloppy. Oh, he's got Zealots in the back, and he gets a Zealot warping in the main. This was a distraction with his main army to allow the Zealots to do the work, but look at that, Clem's all over it. At the same time though, ASTREA pushes the front. He says, you're distracted. Oh, the Disruptor barely didn't connect the shot, and his Disruptors keep headbutting. Terrible fight for ASTREA, unfortunately. He's getting absolutely walloped. Loses 1 Colossus. The other one does survive. Stalkers will escape, but with only 2 Robos. That was just very bad Disruptor control. I think that's, you know, I don't like saying that too much, very bad this, but it was. He just stumbled them in multiple times. Before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. Disruptors walk to their death, so a little sloppy for ASTREA. Does get a few medevacs, which is nice. And this sort of, yeah, force a stim, snipe a medevac or a few Marauders, and then zone with Disruptors and disengage. That's how this style works. Engage, disengage, engage, disengage. He's only on 10 gateways. Like I said, you want to go up to 18, 20 gateways usually with this style. But ASTREA is not fully committing. He's transitioning. He's adding Storm. Okay, so ASTREA is going to play proper late game. He's not just going to stay on the dogged headbutt style. Sometimes the dogged headbutt works really well, but unfortunately a gap in his map vision. Only one observer out. And he's going to lose this base, I believe. Disruptor shot gets a ghost. Other disruptor gets shot down. One more disruptor, but look at the way Clem is just so seamless between attacking and defending. And there's just so little army here. Storm's not ready just yet. And ASTREA lost too many units in that earlier attack attempt for him. Clem handling it really well. I think Australia, my patriotism coming out. ASTREA, I think he fumbled just a little bit on the aggression. Got a bit distracted by the prism flying in, and now he doesn't have the answers that he needs. Storm is just mere seconds away. I mean, maybe with some hero storms. He's still on 80 probes. Oh, Storm's done. Finally, the storm lands. Beyond was obviously Clem was just he was chucking a Beyond there, assuming Storm was late until it landed. Now he knows Storm's ready, and he's got to stay out of range of that High Templar. He's dangerously close as he starts to spread. Realizes there's so little support there. Disruptor lands, but of course, ASTREA is too far behind. Really good game 2 here for Clem. And you can see the way he pushes through his opponents. It's like early game multitasking. The Widowmine drop distracting while he beats up on the Stalkers, pushing out when he really shouldn't be able to push out. But he just says you can't micro 2 things at once, right? Clem, with a few moments like that, combined with his ability to handle the Prism and the attack on the front, beautiful play by Clem. 2-0 lead. All right, guys, going into game 3. Sorry, my throat's having better days. But that's all right. We're just going to be a little croaky as we cast this game 3. Clem in the top right, ASTREA. In the bottom right, it's Torches. Rotationally symmetrical map, and a map where it's very tempting to play Stargate because you can heal up on this healing shrine. No chastity belt, no anti-air blocker to stop our units from healing. So Oracles, Phoenix. Heck, make a random Void Ray, it can heal up over there. So it's a double gas opening. I think Clem might go for his classic that he used to go for on El Dorado. Yeah, he's still got 2 on each gas. He does pull off now, but I think he wants to make a starport instantly and just do a very fast, like, marine mine drop. Maybe 1 mine, bunch of 6 marines, something like that. It's a nice way to just apply pressure and scout what ASTREA is doing as quickly as possible by just boosting in. He sees a Phoenix opening, he boosts away. And we will see that command center on the high ground as well. Of course, gives up a fair bit of economy. You can see his command center doesn't go down until 2 minutes 20. Very late compared to the normal. I mean, he went 135 command center, I think, in that last game. Thank you very much. Highest of Cheeses with the 20-month resub. Shady One says Protoss Meat with the 4-month resub. I like this meme. Sometimes I say things that are a little bit unhinged. Many years ago, someone got... You know, people always go, why aren't you playing the game? Whenever you're streaming, you could have got out of like an hour-long crazy game of StarCraft where you're just watching the replay, you're kind of processing what happened, you're talking about it with your audience, and you'll be out of game for 2 minutes and someone will be like, streamer, why don't you play the game? Where's the gaming happening? This stream sucks. You're an idiot. And someone did that to me one day after having like the most intense game of my life, and I just snapped at the guy and I went, play the game? He said, play the game, Jarhead, in the Twitch chat. And I snapped, and the words that came out of me were, play the game, Jarhead? Why do you eat a carrot neckbeard? My response was, eat a carrot neckbeard, and that was a meme for several years in my channel. I think now, today I said Protoss is the meat and Bjorn is the sandwich in an earlier series, and I think Protoss is the meat is going to be a long-lived meme, I believe. I don't know, it was not the best analogy, but you know, we stand by it. It was memorable. It was memorable. Protoss is the meat. Well, we'll see if the meat can fight back in this case. ASTREA going for Sneaky Phoenix. Got Stalker Sentry. If this goes in too deep and he catches it with a Phoenix, it's great. But Clem's usually very good at pulling this drop away. Can he escape is the question. All right, here we go. Widowmine. Oh, nice unburrow micro for Clem. Very well done. Pylon will go down, though. He's really trying to hide the Phoenix. But now he goes for it. Picks up the Widowmine. Picks up the Marine as well. But Clem, so good at getting out of there. Gets a Pylon kill. Only loses a couple units. And his Reaper denies the third at the same time. Oh, he's so annoying to play against, isn't he? And look at that, the Phoenix can't chase it down because 5 Marines enough anti-air. Really nice play by CLEM. He's so good, man. I mean, you could maybe pick off one more Marine with the Phoenix that has a lift now, but looks like he gets back to the safety. No Cyclone on the way, just Marines and a Viking now building. Phoenix are going to dive, and they do get the medevac, which is, I do think is worthwhile. Would have liked to get the Viking, but with so many Marines nearby, it is guarded. Third command center comes down, Twilight and an extra gas. Now, in this scenario, you have to play Charge. The question is, how early can you squeeze in Forge? Right now, apparently. And then go into Colossus or Storm. There's a Viking out with a pack of Marines there. Phoenix unable to get in. Charge does start. And there's 3 gas to begin. I think this is great style for ASTREA. I love Charge Phoenix. But the thing is, when an opponent sees Charge Phoenix, they often play very turtily. So there's 2 extreme directions CLEM can go. He can go for a massive all-in and try to build like tanks and bunkers and turrets, assuming you're playing Phoenix Colossus. Or, if he knows it's Zealot Phoenix, he can turtle up for a little bit, wait for a big ball of bio, and then the Zealots will fall off in terms of the value they give. So, it looks like in this case, you know, we're committing to like, what is this? 8 gate Zealot, +1 armor, probing up the third, off 3 gases, but no sign of splash damage just yet. And it does feel like it's going to be a slower, more turtley play for CLEM for at least a little bit. In that, you know, he's taking a while to get the reactor. He's going to build a big fireball. Like, this is not a pre-stim push. But he's going 5 barracks before 3rd command center. He's not building a 4th gas yet. This tells me CLEM is going to go all in. It's going to hit probably about 8 minutes. If ASTREA confidently keeps massing Zealots, he can probably beat it. The problem is, because this is a later push, he's probably going to go, oh, I need splash damage. I need to start going Colossus or something. Since he went Robo before Templar Archives, it does look like Colossus will be his transition. I think he'll start attack after armor. And if he can Zealot counter the moment this army gets to the halfway point, just to cut off the reinforcement, delay the push getting stronger, pick off some SCVs, delay any sort of SCV pull that might come with it, that's going to be good. But if he can't get splash damage and CLEM pulls SCVs, look at his army. 6 Marines building at a time, 2 Widow Mines, 2 Medevacs. That's a Zealot killing army. Doesn't even wait for add-ons on these barracks because he wants to hit with as many Marines as he can as soon as possible. And he's already moving out. A little earlier than I predicted. Oh, gee golly. All right, Zealot charge is done. He's aware of it, but no Zealots ready to counter. And this is it. ASTREA, I think if he starts a Robo Bay, it might come in time. But for now, he's basically just building Zealots and Phoenix and nothing else. Sees the SCV pull. He's got he could deal with the rally, maybe, but I think he's just going to go for the big attack. He's going to try and get it. The Phoenix there, not able to bait his stim out just yet. Armies coming in from the left and the south. The Zealots, the Phoenix, they go for it. Picks up the Widow Mines. Zealots try to come in. The Phoenix getting focus fire. The tanks do get picked up. The Zealots trying to get on top of those Marines. They do a pretty good job, but the Guardian Shield not helping those Zealots right now. And the tanks do fall out of the lift. More Zealots coming in. No more Guardian Shield left over. There's still quite a few Marines in here. The Zealots need to pull away. He needs to let these stims wear off. These stims will wear off over time, but if he loses his gateways, he's in trouble. ASTREA is going to have to abandon his natural, cut off the reinforcement temporarily. He's got those Zealots on the rally there. Oh, and this is where, like I said, if he had Zealots behind the push immediately, maybe. But every Marine that's here is a problem. Gateway and Robo going down. Probes are there. You can see the Marines do not want to stim right now, guys. They do not want to stim. He's going to send a probe or a Zealot to potentially take that Widowmine shot on the chin. Only 27 workers for CLEM. But I think that ball of Marines just has too much firepower. He does force field the ramp, which is actually really cute. And even energy recharges it, which is bloody adorable. But I don't know if adorable is going to cut the mustard in this case. ASTREA is ahead on supply, but it's a 30 worker lead while being down 16 army supply. Oh, he recalls his units. Guardian Shield's so good, man. Oh, Zealot Sandwich comes in. Unfortunately, there's almost no anti-air. There's only 2 Phoenix. And if these guys just fly to the right side, they can unload. But he's actually flying back in a straight line. He should have flown over the rocks, the debris to the right, but actually all the debris fell apart. We're late enough in the game that the debris has worn off. He does manage to save these Marines. The Zealot Phoenix having a fall back. The Natural survived. There are still Widow Mines. Oh no, it didn't survive. It's rebuilding. What am I talking about? There are more pylons building. ASTREA trying to hang on for dear life. So hard to defend this sort of all-in. CLEM realizing exactly what he's up against and doing a great job of it. Widow Mines are picking off a few probes. Nothing to be concerned about for ASTREA. This is the problem. And how does one deal with it? He has 1,000 gas. Oh, if he had the ability to make Archons. Dude, if he could make Archons, this would be game-ending for Clement. Imagine if he makes two Archons, 3 Archons right now. Oh, we'd use so little minerals as well. He could pick off the Widow Mine. Oh, he uses his charge. CLEM, I thought he was going to stim on that, but you can see he's trying to bait stims. Clem picks up and goes to the right side. Oh me, oh my. He drops all day and night. Clem being a nasty boy. He knows there's no anti-air. And now he is going to go full bully mode. You can't shoot up, you stupid Protoss player. Clem channeling his inner Artosis right now. Happily dishing out the pain that has been inflicted on him on the ladder over the years. Getting that TVP revenge. Really nice play here for Clem. Just a really good all-in against what ASTREA was doing. Like I said, if he made a Robo Bay as it was moving out, I actually think it might have worked, though the Robo, I guess, was in a bit of an exposed position. Or if he'd, gone for the Templar Archives, it actually would have really helped. And it's just Clem found the perfect timing. Like, I cannot stress enough how if Clem hits 30 seconds earlier, I don't think he can win the fight. And if he hits 30 seconds later, ASTREA goes to splash damage and probably is able to handle it. But this is just the perfect window. You're like, I can't quite get splash damage. But you've got just enough, 36 Marines, that like Zealots are very ineffective against that number, even with the +1 armor kicking in. I do think Zealots should have cut off this reinforce. I think, like I said, anytime these all-ins come, I think even just 3 or 4 Zealots countering immediately on the rally makes it so much harder for him to use the frontal army correctly, and also trades really well, because you clean up a few units and then you bring them in as a flank. Whereas the Zealots all get stuck behind each other. A big fight favors Clem. Lots of small fights, I think, favors ASTREA's Zealot army a little bit more. Hard to make that happen, though, against a god like Clem. GG, well played. Clem gets the 3-0 and goes to the grand finals. GG, well played.